Hey traders, Steven here, tradeexplain.com. Recording this after the close on Thursday. I'm setting this out for Friday, January 27th. This is my top ETFs video of the week. We're going to look at the overall market, and then we're going to look at some potential setups and some ETFs. It's going to be pretty easy, to be honest with you. But let's start with the S&P 500. We had a really bullish reversal day on the S&P 500 on Monday. That looked really good. And given the hard sell-off, a snapback, right, seems very reasonable, maybe up into the 4,500 area, you know, where it could meet that pink line, which is the 20-day moving average, okay? That's where I was hoping we would get to. The last 3 days, we can't close above the black line, the 200-day moving average. So I'm starting to have my doubts that this reversal is going to hold. We'll see what happens on Friday. It doesn't matter where it opens, because Wednesday it opened up, Thursday it opened up, and then it just keeps getting pushed back down. It keeps getting rejected at the 200-day moving average. So we'll see where it closes. Could this, still, if we had a really strong day, could this still, we would have to have probably a 2% day for us to have a weekly reversal week in the overall market, right? It's got to close above January 21st. So it's got to close above 43.97 tomorrow for this to be a weekly reversal pattern on the weekly chart, but right now it's looking pretty weak. So we'll just kind of keep our eye on it. If we need another leg down, it is what it is. It's not fun, but that's totally fine, right? Because usually the harder the sell-off, usually the quicker the snapbacks. But we'll just, again, take that day by day and really go from there. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq looks much weaker. I mean, it is now 2 weeks below the 200-day moving average. It is finding rejection at that 8-day, kind of that green line, that 8-day moving average. Eventually it will bounce up into, you got the 20 is now crossed below the 200-day moving average, and that 50, if we don't get a bounce, that 50 should be closely behind it. So again, we'll just take this day by day. This is a bottoming pattern right here, but that doesn't mean, it can't be a false bottom pattern. So we'll see where the market finishes. We probably need a 2 to 3% day on Friday as well for it to be a nice reversal pattern on the weekly chart. So we'll just take this day by day. Let's look at some of the top ETFs of the week. Nat gas, I've been talking about this, for several weeks now, and it really surged today. And I honestly think that there could be a big move, and I believe I sent out a video on Tuesday saying, hey, you might just have to take a stab when this crosses back above 14.15, which is that 200-day moving average, that black line. It did, and yesterday, and then it had follow through today, and it's just looking really strong. So, something like this, you could always enter and just put a stop under Thursday's low, because if it falls back over, just forget about it, let it chop around. And I think this is all this energy. This is kind of a Russia-Ukraine speculation, because a lot of nat gas flows from Russia to Europe, to Eastern Europe, and any volatility in the region could disrupt that supply chain and push nat gas prices up to something pretty extraordinary. So let's just kind of keep an eye on this. I do have a position in nat gas, and we'll just kind of take it day by day. I'm not saying this isn't a big move, but I'm saying if there's anything right now in the market that I think has big upside, I think it's nat gas. What else is strong this week? You have Palladium, which honestly, there's been some nice buying coming in lately. It kind of broke out of this little inverse head and shoulder pattern. It needs to pull back a little bit. It's popped quite a bit. Lots of volume. It's still in a downtrend, so I would need to see kind of a pullback and a re-break before I get excited about that. You have, XLE and IEO and these ETFs. I mean, they're looking pretty strong. All right, the energy. I mean, look at that. A rising relative strength line means it's outperforming the S&P 500. So, it's been performing the overall market pretty strongly for about 4 weeks now. And I mean, it looks like it's going to continue. It kind of pulled back violently, bounced back. We'll kind of wait and see how this plays out. The energy ETFs do seem a little bit extended. I think nat gas is actually, even though popped a lot on Thursday, actually is in a pretty good spot right above that 5,200 day crossover. I think the other energy ETFs probably need more of a pullback as they're getting a little extended. You know, they all kind of look the same. Now with FCG, the First Trust Nat Gas, this individual stocks, yeah, I would say if it pops at all on Friday, you could trade it with a really tight stop under Thursday's low, and if it works, it works. If it kind of comes back down, don't you know, if you get in, don't let it fall back below, right? Because then we have a false breakdown, which could mean it could go the complete opposite direction. A lot of volatility around this. I want to call out Brazil because this was an ETF I 100% called out last Friday. It was on this day right here. And I said, hey, the market was coming under pressure, but this is a pretty serious downtrend right here. And I said, hey, if it pulls back and re-breaks, there is your entry. And that is exactly what has happened in the last week. It pulled back on Monday. It re-broke on Tuesday. So there is your entry with a stop under this crossover. You have probably a stop under the 50-day moving average, which is about 6%. Again, you have to understand that if the market gets more volatile and sells off, like if the market sells off tomorrow on Friday, this is going down with it. So just kind of be cautious. I think the energy and the nat gas, they kind of have a different play. They have that ability to buck the trend. I don't think this has the ability to buck the trend. So just kind of keep that in mind. But right now this setup does look good, but we need a bounce for it to continue to work. But it did have the re-break that we 100%, or at least we thought it would. So right now, really in the top, you're really only looking at Brazil, which is looking pretty strong. It's breaking out of a nice downtrend. I think everybody can see that. And it's not enough to break out. Sometimes you got to break out, pull back, and re-break. And then you have the nat gas, which is looking good right now. That might pop on Friday and get extended. And then you have the energy, which looks extended. So I'd say nat gas, as long as it didn't pop too much on Friday. Brazil, as long as the market holds on Friday, I mean, those are probably your best opportunities. So, you know, right now, I'll continue to say trade less, trade smaller. The markets are very weak. That could turn around. It takes one day to turn that around. So don't get too bullish, don't get too bearish. Just, you know, be willing to take it day by day. But right now, there are some opportunities out there.